Hi, I'm Michaela.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Michaela.
Hey, it's Michaela.
It's your girl Michaela.
Michaela.
I'm Michaela.
Have you been scrolling through Instagram lately and noticed these weirdo flawless skin beings? No, I'm not talking about the Photoshop Kim K clones, but have you noticed these influencers seem to reach godlike skin routines that us mere mortals could not hope to achieve? Well, obviously they're fake, but they're not even human beings at all. Welcome to the age of AI-generated influencers,
where virtual beings are taking over our screens.
LOL, shit rhymes. Don't hate the player, hate the game,
bitch.
Bars. Today we're going to discuss exactly what this means for our society and whether or not it's a good thing. See, you have to understand, AI is something that's just at its infancy. We haven't understood or saw the true possibilities of AI. However, on a day-to-day basis, including on social media, we're seeing how it's affecting our everyday lives. The social interaction between man and machine is normalizing, thus priming us to be comfortable with using AI and interacting with AI on a day-to-day basis. Robots delivering your food, self-driving taxis, and even ChatGPT are all collecting data and trying to understand how human beings live their lives and what are their normal habits and routines on a daily basis. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it makes you question socialization and what it really means to be a human being. I mean, just take a look at this, for example. AI is now in advertising. How would this make you feel, knowing that the image that you see is not a real person? Does that make you draw any closer or further from the product? And see, this is something that we have to understand on a psychological level. Is it the shared human experience that draws us together, or is it simply emotions?
You think robots will take over the world?
No, I think we're gonna coexist in harmony. You just have to stop being afraid.
Meet Michaela. Michaela is a 19-year-old singer, dancer, YouTuber, and even a fashion designer. Basically the definition of an influencer. Michaela was manufactured in 2016. She was created with the illusion that she is an AI-generated robot that is completely self-aware. However, that couldn't be farthest from the truth. She simply is a 3D model and a voice actor. Basically a marketing gimmick. And it's very interesting how they gave her the age of 19 years old, because at the end of the day, she's a robot. It shouldn't really matter what age she is, but that's how you know there's some intent behind just the face. And also, why make it a woman? This has led me to believe they are trying to appeal to a mass audience, in part using to gain attention and followers. Because at the end of the day, they could have created a non-binary, non-gender conforming robot, but instead we see they're playing on the heartstrings of young men specifically. And even if that's not the case, why are her handlers posting pictures of her like this? These are all directly off Instagram, her biggest platform yet, and where she has all of her influence. Speaking of creators and creations, Trevor and Sarah are responsible for bringing Michaela into this world, which Time magazine named her one of the top 25 most influential people on the internet in 2018. Now, Trevor McFredries is a DJ producer, and he has worked with the likes of Kesha, Katy Perry, and even Chris Brown. And unless you're really into music like that, or specifically the type of music that he DJs, you're not gonna know who this is. This isn't a household name, and he probably hasn't featured with anybody that you really know like that has set on the main stage. And when it comes to Sarah Deku, she's more or less a ghost. There's not much information that you could dig up and find about her, other than the fact that she is a tech startup entrepreneur. So obviously you see these people have everything to gain in a situation like this specifically. There is nothing inherently wrong with what they have done. However, it's kind of crazy when you start pushing these so-called generated AIs to start pushing and influencing political policies. I mean, it says here in her bio that she supports Black Lives Matter. So could you imagine somebody developing and creating even more sophisticated AI, which you didn't know they were AI, and pushing propaganda and different policies, messages, misinformation to the public as you seemingly believe that this is another person that you follow on Instagram or Twitter? Michaela has spearheaded ad campaigns for brands such as Balenciaga, Prada, and even Calvin Klein. And so at this point, you can't help but definitely understand and know the fact that this is all just a marketing gimmick. And that's all fine and dandy. There's no real problem with all of this. However, you have to understand, once this gets into the hands of somebody else, somebody malicious, someone who wants to use it to exploit others, that's when we're gonna have real problems. And not only financially, but just personally, emotionally. These things can bamboozle you and even swindle you out of information and even love.
She's the hottest influencer on social media, with guys around the world sending her marriage proposals.
Every aspect of her ravishing looks are computer generated, and that has some of her online fans upset, saying they've been hoodwinked after trying to win her affection. You're a beautiful young woman. Your beauty really dazzles me. I adore you. $1 million smile.
Like, for real though, could you imagine that? Could you imagine being scammed and bamboozled by some woman that you thought was real, and it's not even a catfish, it's an AI generated being, meaning that there was somebody that created that Instagram model or influencer to directly sway and persuade you to do certain things for them or for whatever it is that they're trying to get out of you. I mean, you're down bad from the jump just thinking that you can get with somebody on Instagram where you're gonna have everlasting love. But could you imagine being that way and then finding out that it's AI generated? The pictures that you were looking at are not even real, they're fake, but you obviously didn't notice. Imagine being so naive that you get catfished by computer code. Now, these AI generated models range from everything like bad AI Photoshop to computer cutscenes from the PS2, PS1 days. However, rapid improvements in AI realism in just the last 9 months alone have made them indistinguishable from the real thing. And herein lies the problem. Influencing has become much more than just promoting or advertising a product and showing where you went on your last vacation. Now, it's a whole way of business. This is what everybody knows, especially if you're an Instagram model. OF and things similar to that are what women use to promote themselves and to get their brand out there, specifically for the types of content that they do. But now, they're not even necessary. AI bots can pump out quality content much faster at a much cheaper price. Where an OF model might charge $20 for a subscription on their page, a bot could produce the same photos, videos, and messages for less than half the price. And not only that, but you have to take into the time and logistics of doing all of this. You have to hire a photographer, make sure your makeup's on right, make sure the right setting, the right mood is encapsulated within your video or pictures. However, there's some dude sitting on his ass programming a picture of a woman right now and posting it online and getting paid for it, all while he's at lunch working at Amazon. They are not confined by human limitations. They can be in multiple places at once, speak any language, perform incredible feats, and even undergo a total redesign at will. There's this weird circle jerk that's going on because the majority of AI created influencers are created by men, and so it's men selling fake pictures of women to other men, and in this entire process or transaction there are no real women involved at all. It is quite interesting and scary times that we live in, man. I have no idea what to say about this, but this should be a Black Mirror episode because this is the dystopian future that we're moving towards. And you might ask yourself, what if I want the real thing though? But at the same time, what if you didn't notice the difference? What if you had no idea that the woman that you are following on Instagram is a fake AI bot and there was no way that you could ever know that it was fake and not a real woman? We have an example here. It says, I am totally starting a fake AI generated OF for gullible idiots if I fail this trading thing. And you can see those look very convincing and realistic. And I think the most important thing is you're not too concerned about the 1,000-yard death stare that they have. It's more so just the body and features that are on the woman. The weird thing about this whole situation is the fact that this is somewhat of a solution work itself. I mean, you don't even have to be a woman anymore, and now you can promote your content online without showing or exposing who you really are. It's a weird thing to do because at the end of the day, as a man, you would have to know, or to some degree, you are finessing another man into thinking that the woman he's looking at is real when it's really not. I mean, we all know the statistics and rates of women who get into this line of work, and it's not positive. They directly struggle from anxiety, depression, and other forms of mental illness due to the type of work that they're in, because over time, it could become demeaning. I mean, just think about it. It's a very lonely experience. You're up in your room by yourself, buzzing away for 5 hours just so you can get some damn tuition money for school. And personally, I believe this is a line of work that nobody should get in, man or woman, because it's not worth anything and it's going to start more problems than solutions in your future. J.P. Moreland, a philosopher, highlighted the fact that men won't get married. Instead, they'll spend their lives interacting with false personas that can't really love them and who they can't love either. It's a safe, riskless, but completely dead way to live. And this also goes back to the video that I did a couple weeks ago that had to do with AI love pleasure robots. It's the same type of thing, but instead it's physical. So you could start out by meeting an AI generated woman online and then make her into your e-girlfriend, and once you're ready and have enough money, then you can order a $10,000 love pleasure robot that will be delivered into your house, and now she is fully functioning and you can do whatever you want to her. That is insane and that is weird, but that is the direct future that we're headed towards.